They don't make superheroes like they used to. Forget kryptonite, this dude's got nanites. TechTV heads to the Vancouver set of Jake 2.0, a spy-fi TV series that's thrusting the superhero, nanites first, into the 21st century.
This guy can interface with technology. It's like a universal remote.
Able to throw footballs better than Joe Montana, turn red lights into green lights, and to find the bad guys with super-duper night vision.
Some kind of future soldier.
Exactly.
Jake's like the $10 billion man. The accidental $10 billion man.
The technology of Jake's world, fact and fiction, and the tricks of the FX trade that let creators sculpt the landscape of the ultimate human upgrade. Hi there, I'm Michaela Pereira. Welcome to TechTV's Inside Look at Jake 2.0. The real and the make-believe mingle in some pretty tricky ways on this new show. Today, we're going to break down what makes this geek-turned-super spy tick, but we'll also look into the real-world technology that could turn Jake into a 21st century superhero. Likable, geeky, red-blooded, Jake is a computer tech at the National Security Agency and harbors a secret dream to be a spy.
U.S. CENTCOM has an unmanned drone standing by to launch a Hellfire missile right at him.
This is so freaking cool.
Until one day, his dream finds him. A gunfight in one of the NSA secret labs infects him with millions of experimental nanites, or microscopic computers. A day later, he discovers he has superpowers.
Yeah, here you go. So Jake has some exceptional abilities because of these nanites, these microcomputers floating around inside of him. He has increased strength, he has increased speed, vision, hearing. Basically anything that he can do as a regular person is now enhanced.
The twist? Those computers are Wi-Fi, and Jake can interface with technology. Naturally, his bosses at the NSA, the super uptight Louise Beckett and Agent Kyle Duarte, are foaming at the mouth.
I want my life back.
I'm afraid we can't do that, Jake.
Yeah. Big surprise.
What I can do is upgrade your security clearance, effective immediately. I've just been authorized to create a special ops team with you at its core.
Jake's like the $10 billion man. The accidental $10 billion man.
Dr. Diane Hughes is the pretty underneath her glasses NSA doctor charged with observing the NSA's new secret weapon.
I think it would be really cool if Diane could, get the nanites in her, and then they could be like, remember when the bionic man and the bionic woman, they did the thing?
So he gets all of these great things, which is great. But what he also gets is the uncertainty of what's going to happen to him physically and mentally.
Some of the lab mice experienced muscle spasms, blindness, partial or full paralysis. In rare cases, they rejected the nanites, and the results, not good. But that doesn't mean that any of these things are going to happen to you, all right?
What is going to happen to me?
Do you have nanite nightmares?
No.
No?
I guess what would that be? They'd be like really tiny little short nightmares. like I think I was scared, but it happened so fast. I don't know.
Fast that I'm over it now.
Yeah.
Forget spiders, you don't need no mojo. For Jake, nanites are where it's at. Now, those little buggers may be small, but they make this geek go.
We realized pretty early on that when you're dealing with molecular-sized computers, the possibilities are endless. I mean, this guy can interface with technology. He's like a universal remote, and every one of his body functions is enhanced. Meaning what? Meaning that
I can hear everything.
So nanotechnology comes into play in your lab because Jake is infiltrated with this
with all
technology.
These computers, right. So the idea is basically we lay him out here and we can sort of scan him and find out what's going on with everything.
For Jake 2.0,
Some kind of future soldier.
Exactly.
the nanites, or nanobots, are completely integrated with his body's natural systems.
What is he actually able to do? You know, leap tall buildings in a single bound. What can he do because of these nanites?
Well, he can leap small buildings.
In a single bound.
Could leap a couple of stories, maybe a small garage.
We're not talking King Kong here. Jake's powers, just outside the realm of possibility. There's bionic hearing and sight, and a nifty night vision function, and some pretty trippy perks as well.
Because the nanobots are microscopic computers, and he is now himself half man, half machine. He is able to interface with technology, with computers.
And he's Wi-Fi on top of all of that. Red light at the intersection, not a problem.
His VO2 max is probably better. It just, in general, makes...
Anybody else not know what that was? VO2 max. Wow.
Well, like athletes, how much oxygen they can keep in their lungs, for example. Pretty much everything that he has is enhanced.
Everything?
I'll let you know in a couple episodes.
Alrighty.
So, did Jake the human have to learn Jake the computer's tricks? Like how to hack?
I just do this.
You're doing about 110 a minute there.
Yeah, this is your general typing, and if you're hacking, then you make a mean face like that.
Are you getting the feeling it'd be a bit of a bummer to go a couple of PS2 rounds with Jake?
Sorry.
On the set, between takes, the cast members do a couple of rounds with each other.
Hey, this is Mike Wrench.
Hi.
He's the camera operator here on Jake 2.0, and I think this is the perfect time to debut our new
We've got a little
drink.
product, and we've been working on it for it's been in development. R&D is what they call it. When you're developing something, research, a lot of research, and a lot of development. Anyways, this is a pretty good place. If you can see over there, you can see the carcasses, the bones. Over here we have blood cells. These are all important products that we use in our product ingredients.
So, basically, what the product we're introducing is a brand new soda.
It's soda. It's but like a pop.
Yeah.
Other places in the world they call it pop.
Yeah.
Here, because we're slightly British, we call it.
This is your show, but this is my show.
We haven't finished talking about.
I know, but
we got
you're
a product.
talking about soda. I'm not sure I understand.
It's a high-tech product. It's not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, high-tech product. Go ahead.
And since you're here, tell me, wouldn't you buy?
If you had the chance. Let's say if somebody offered it to you.
You're hot and
You're really hot.
parched
It's a summer day.
and hungry at the same time.
And what's the name of
If
the
you had
soda?
the opportunity to buy this, I think you would. It's carbonated bacon drink.
Yeah. Carbonated bacon drink.
The world of tiny tech. How actual scientists are working in areas that could lead to a real-world Jake 1.0.
I look sexy as all hell, but really deep down, I'm a nerd.
Geek power.
You get dental with that?
It's floating on the Jake set like silicon on chips. We're back behind the scenes of Jake 2.0, where for cast, characters, and creators, geek is a four-letter word, on set and off.
You get dental with that?
Yeah, actually. Watch it.
Oh, bad things. Okay.
Physical therapy, too.
Were you a big comic kid growing up?
No.
No.
No, not a comic kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you a geek?
A semi-geek.
Come on, you can admit it here. This is a safe place to admit
I know
your
that's the thing.
geekness.
This would be the safest
This is the place to do it, honey.
It's kind of the basis of the show, is that you have this kind of goofy, geeky guy.
But you're a hottie. You're not goofy and geeky.
No, I look sexy as all hell, but really deep down, I'm a nerd.
He's kind of a geek, but he's not in this, overdone, comic booky way. He's a real human being.
An image actor Chris Gorham tries to foster, especially between takes.
Swing time logic.
Michael,
Nothing but the
without
best
moving.
here on Jake 2.0.
I mean without moving. Keegan, nice to see you. Go into your mark for a moment.
There, and then I'm going to push ahead. I'm not moving?
Yeah.
Any geeks on this set?
I think you'll find more geeks in the writer's room than you will on the set where the actors are. Although, it's interesting because Chris is such a good actor. I'm wondering, now does he really know how to do all that stuff with computers?
There have been a few times we did an episode, The Good, the Bad, and the Geeky, where there was a lot of that geeky hacker techie stuff. And there was some exposition that I had to do, and it was difficult. It was hard. My nightmare was that you'd be able to see me thinking about the lines in my head because I had no idea what I'm saying.
So Jake, geek. Chris Gorham, not so much.
That's it. We've had it. I'm calling my agent.
You got a little feet there.
Sounds like it's time for a geek intervention.
Just hold my hand, and I want you to look into the camera and admit it. Say it, honey. You can say it here.
Okay, fine. Sylvia Orta, I'm a geek. I admit it.
How do you feel? How do you feel? You're going to be okay. See, it's part of the therapy. You're safe here. Radiation and a fair amount of rage may have given the Hulk his superpowers, but for Jake, it's nanites. However, he is not the only one with some nanotechnology action going on. Check it out.
I'm Mark Levinson. Medical science has some big dreams for nanotechnology, and if researchers have their way, those dreams just might come true.
Your hair is about 100 microns. The nanotubes that we grow are about 100,000 times smaller than that.
Deep in the Silicon Valley, the company Molecular Nanosystems bakes carbon instead. Carbon that forms tiny tubes small enough for microchips to pick out one disease protein at a time, a feat that may lead to the while-you-wait blood test.
It doesn't require fancy optics, or you don't have to send it out for analysis to a lab. It won't take you weeks.
It's small technology and a big idea. Since all life's based on carbon, researchers envision carbon nanotubes as artificial antibodies, synthetic blood cells, or built-in sensors that alert battlefield medics when a soldier's in trouble.
There are probably things that we haven't even envisioned.
It's remarkable. You see how the nanites have positioned themselves along his central nervous system?
Thanks to sci-fi like Jake 2.0, there's plenty of way-out nano dreams. But back to reality. Drug companies expect nanotech to play William Tell with cancer.
This would be a more direct form of healing, actually bringing the molecular action of drugs exactly where you want them.
But the challenge to make nanotechnology work is sort of like the ultimate in a bad hair day. Now, you know how hard it is to make your hair grow out and form and shape the way you want it to? Well, just imagine how much harder it is when the nano hairs are 100,000 times smaller.
There are lots of challenges in the way of getting that far in sophistication.
Like, how do you turn nanotubes into molecular submarines that ferry drugs into cells? And then what happens to the body once they sail inside?
They're much smaller than even, a cell, penetrate right through the cell membrane in certain cases. It's not clear what the risks are.
A new $3 billion federal program may help nano researchers turn fiction into fact, and then give fiction more reason to dream on.
Carbonated bacon drink, and we're thinking about calling it, well, we have a variety of names.
Carb bacon pop.
Carb bacon pop, and pork pops.
Pork pop. That's a better one.
Yeah.
Pork pop.
Anyways, so soon it'll be on the marketplace displayed, and
and you can find it at your local Union grocery store.
Jake may have the fake NSA, but the real one has nifty gadgets, too. We sit down with the real deal. And Jake 2.0 Magic 101.
We'll fly into the guts of the computer and into like some switches or some hardware.
The effects gurus that could make Neo from The Matrix jealous of Jake. Welcome back to the Vancouver set of Jake 2.0, where a fictional national security agency keeps tabs on Jake's superpowers. Could the real NSA be tapped into such tech? Take a look.
In Jake's world, CG artists built the NSA from the ground up. In the real world, the NSA is off limits.
No one will ever go into the NSA. No one.
Well, she may be the NSA boss on Jake 2.0, but how real is Lou Beckett's character? I'm Paul Chambers here in Washington, D.C., where the real NSA has a thing for the guy named Bill, and I'm not talking about the guy who lived in a White House 4 years ago. There's former Deputy Director Bill Crowell.
NSA is a very large agency, probably as large as the CIA.
Then there's the current head of the nanotech team, a guy also named Bill. Yeah, just Bill.
We have two missions. The first is to collect foreign intelligence by electronic means, and the second is to safeguard United States communications and information.
But super agents with nanites? They call it mostly science fiction at this point, but not impossible.
Well, the potential, as I said, is almost unlimited, since you're building almost anything you can imagine out of individual atoms and molecules.
So we want the deets, what they're working with here.
Those tools aren't in the public domain, so I won't be discussing them.
Okay, Bill number 2.
Well, over the years, NSA has been very involved in developing many of the modern technologies that are now used in computers, things like transistors and integrated circuits, cassette audio tapes, and so forth.
NSA is also the agency behind the satellite snooping system Echelon. So are they snickering at Jake's tech or envious?
I know that my NSA contacts love the show.
This is where the magic happens here on the set of Jake 2.0. But talk about magic. How do you make technology that isn't real yet seem believable? Super Slick Jake FX, made possible in part by this ball that monitors set light levels from a 360 perspective.
It's the magic of Jake 2.0. Basically, we take the script, we read it, We highlight everything that there's no way in hell you could shoot it live or on the set or on the day.
From his Vancouver perch, VizFX soup, Jason Stritch is up to this ball in lines.
Ultimately, this allows us to do more on Jake 2.0. This allows us to do more visual effects shots.
Stritch and his FX house, Stargate Digital, came up with this laser array that dot green walls.
Shooting green dots on a green screen allows you to have really bright, obvious tracking points that the computer seems to love.
The point, and they do have one, the lasers give CG artists digital reference for dropping in DC background landscapes. But they also help recreate what the camera has already shot, entirely in CG, so the computer can make moves the camera can't.
If the camera moves and the people move, I know that grid never moved. And the computer can lock onto it and recreate the camera move in 3D space. So then I can do anything.
Anything they can do. Another key tool, digital cameras to record every aspect of a set, even if the set is in the rain on top of a building.
Stargate Digital will be there on the day and actually take a bunch of stills at different points and looking at the POV that maybe Jake is looking at. And in that, be able to speed it up, zoom in at what we call bullet speed.
Wait, where have I heard that before?
They'll stop frame. They'll have everybody stop motion, just stand still.
Freeze!
And then they'll take the camera through there and do a steady cam shot, usually right through the set or sometimes a dolly shot.
That helps CG artists recreate what camera crews shoot and go where a camera only dares.
And by taking photos on the set, it perfectly blends into the scene. You know, you can't distinguish what's real and what's not real.
And for a new brand of spy-fi, it's a distinction that doesn't come easy.
Carbonated bacon drink.
They had carbonated bacon drink.
See what it does for you.
Yeah, there were some people that were moving.
Strong, really strong. That's what keeps them fit. It's not just the bubbles, it's the bubbles with the bacon. Carbonated bacon drink.
Also the patented way in which we puree the bacon.
Nobody has
before
that.
Bottling.
Nobody has that technology. That's what makes it high tech.
Yeah, it's a high tech beverage.
Actually, it's high tech bacon cola.
A man named Boz with an appetite for adventure. He is the hero behind the superhero.
He's right out of Folklore.
How Jake stacks up against the heroes of the past and the future.
We are, of course, behind the scenes here on the set of Jake 2.0. But if there were a hero behind the superhero, it'd be this dude. You can call him Boz.
Delta, you want both of your exercises.
For Basil Boz, it's not what you know, it's what you need to know.
About it, if I were to walk up to you in the street right now and go, "Hey, I used to work for the CIA," you'd go,
No, really,
"Yeah, right, yeah, really."
A former counterterrorism officer in the Marines, CIA special operative, stunt devil, and for fun, street luge.
Baz Basil now in second place.
Hollywood is, of course, digging his vibe and has hired him to consult on shows with top secret spy storylines, including Jake 2.0. But how do we know he's the real deal?
Okay, listen up, everyone.
Well, we asked him, about secret tech stuff.
Well, some of the stuff that's viable is classified, so I can't disclose that right now.
But he will talk about his take on the tech of Jake.
It would not surprise me that, somebody's running around with nanites in their body.
Are you?
No, I have other things. I have other things running around in my body. I'm sure. Parasites, not nanites.
And seeing what he's seen might not be a bad idea to believe him. His key techno mantra:
no matter how much technology we have, there's always going to be human error.
To err, human. To kick some bad guy's ass, well, that's just the makings of an American hero. In the world, according to Boz.
From my world, the real heroes are the people that were just doing their job.
Jake 2.0, a classic tale set in modern times.
He's right out of Folklore.
Drop it! Are you okay?
Think about it. A geeky young guy undergoes a life-changing event.
All through Folklore, you have heroes very much like Jake. Ordinary people who have tasks to do and who get special powers.
His ability to interface with technology, whether it's computers, microwave oven, cable, or whatever, and that's something that we haven't seen yet.
His powers might be new, you know, controlling computers and whatnot, but his weakness, well, it's a classic.
I think that 24-hour flu is more like a 36, or maybe a 48.
A common obstacle for heroes, they never seem to get the girl.
I gotta go.
No, heroes have problems with women. Superman had problems with women. Everyone has problems with women.
Not that the job of being a superhero is a bad gig.
Just finished working. Superhero, 21st century. Yeah.
Can you put that on a business card?
Yeah. Christopher Gorham, superhero of the 21st century. That's good.
Jokes aside, Jake 2.0 taps into a story that's been told over and over. A story about an ordinary guy who gains extraordinary powers and who makes us feel good about ourselves in the process.
Every individual thinks that he's basically a hero. So the notion that an ordinary person can become a hero is very important in sort of American culture.
People want order and order in the chaos, and they want sense to be made of life.
And they want hope, too.
And they want hope.
Jake may have that razor-sharp vision, but we are going to keep our eyes on this small-screen kid. Creators are hoping that he'll become somewhat of an icon, much like Buffy. But only time and technology will tell. From Vancouver, Canada, I'm Michaela Pereira. Thanks for joining us.
We'd like to present this, the first half keg of carbonated baked drink to TechTV.
This is our secret freezer where we keep it. Take a look. Enjoy your